Thank you very much for IIIT. Okay. For two things. One is sponsoring our research. Alhamdulillah, after 2 years, we completed this research. And second is to invite us to sharing our research findings so far. Okay. So far, just to inform that our research has been completed, waiting for the publication as a chapter in the books, inshallah, very soon, by mid of next year, inshallah. Okay. Basically, the topic is Performance Evaluation Index for Islamic Social Finance Institution based on the Maqasid al-Shariah. So these are our team members. Okay, we have myself, we have Prof. Mustafa, Dr. Aslan Akbar is there, and also Prof. Jarita. Okay, basically, as we know that many of the Islamic social finance, okay, they use the the performance study of the Islamic social finance was measured using the financial performance, okay, using the conventional aspects, okay, of the performance without emphasizing on the maqasids. In addition, these conventional benchmarks are not enough, okay, to measure the maqasid-based performance, which can truly measure the identity of the Islamic social finance institutions. Therefore, in the context of our study, it becomes necessary for us to examine the Islamic social finance institution with the proper tools, okay, such as Maqasid al-Shariah Index, which was developed by the Muhammad Razak and Taib in 2008. Their study is, however, is focusing on the Islamic banking and finance. We are extending their study, in the context of Islamic social finance institutions, okay, by focusing on the zakat institution. So this study aims to analyze the performance of Islamic social finance based on Maqasid Sharia, and to extend the analysis of the Maqasid Sharia Index, which is employed in the literature, and to determine how far the Islamic social finance, okay, institution have gone towards accomplishing Maqasid during its operationalizations. So far, none of the study have tested the operationalization of the Maqasid Index in the context of Islamic social finance institution. Okay. So this is our research questions. So what will be an appropriate framework to measure the performance of the Islamic social finance institution, particularly the zakat institution? We are focusing only on zakat institution rather than the wakaf, Islamic microfinance, Islamic crowdfunding, and so on, due to the unavailability of the data. Okay, this is some of the challenges that we found that whereby the availability of the data, because some of the zakat Islamic social finance institution, particularly in the context of Malaysia, okay, there's a issue of availability of the data. Although they come up with the reports, but in the reports they have a lack of the information that we need. Okay, and then what are the variables that should be selected to operationalize the Maqasid components? And the last one is, how can the Maqasid-based index be developed and used to measure the performance of Islamic social finance institutions, particularly the zakat institutions? So basically, this is our objective of the study. Okay, first we try to identify an appropriate Maqasid Sharia theoretical framework to develop the Maqasid-based performance evaluation index for the Islamic social finance institutions. And after that, we identify and validate the dimensions, elements, and measures to operationalize the component of Maqasid Sharia for performance evaluation index. And the last one is to develop and test this index to measure the performance of selected zakat institution in Malaysia. So basically, for the literature review, I don't want to talk the details about the literature review due to the time constraint. We are using the Maqasid framework developed by the Imam Al-Ghazali, okay, which I will going to show you later on. And then there are several literatures, okay. If you look at my full paper, okay, we try to come up with the several empirical literature talking about the performance measurement of the zakat institution, including in Malaysia and also in other countries. But none of them, they use the Maqasid index, okay, to evaluate the performance of the zakat institution in the context of Malaysia. Okay, this is the what they call the Imam Al-Ghazali's Maqasid framework. Okay, I think it's very familiar. I think the morning session also they already mentioned about this. Okay, about the maslahah, and then we have the necessity, complement, and embellishment. Under the necessity, we have the 5 objective of the Sharia. Okay. So this one become our benchmark, okay, to develop the Maqasid index. So the research method for our what they call our study. Okay, it's a mixed method, which comprise the extensive literature review, and then we also use the second method of operationalization. We also conduct an interview, okay, and some sort of the focus group discussion, and also the secondary data analysis. The first phase of the research focus on the extensive literature review and also the second method of operationalizing a concept by first breaking down to the dimensions. After that, the dimensions are further broken down into the measurable items, namely the elements. And then once we develop it, and then the expert interview were conducted to finalize and the primary selected variables. In the second phase, what we did is the weight are going to assign against each Maqasid concept dimensions and also the dimensions. In the last stage, an index is created with respect to the achievement of the Maqasid al-Shariah. So this is the stage one model identification using the Al-Ghazali frameworks. And this is the Sekarans model, okay, 2003, whereby we have the concept, dimension, and also the elements. And then the example, okay, maybe you might ask me, okay, okay, how we define the concept, dimension, and elements. Okay, this is the way. One of the example that I pick up from our study is, for example, the concept is preservation of the religion, protection of the religions, and these are some of the dimensions, okay, that we identify throughout the literature reviews. And what are the elements which is capturing the dimension of the preservation of the religions? So these are the elements and also the measures. Okay, these measures all be obtained from the annual report of the Zakat institution. This way we found some sort of difficulties, okay, to get the data for Islamic social finance institution. Okay, like in Malaysia, in our scope of the study, we just focus only on one state, which is Lembaga Zakat Selangor, in Selangor only. We try to compare between the other states, because in Malaysia we have 14 states. But when we go through their reports, I think most of their reports, there's an issue of unavailability of the data. Okay, for example, some of the measures that we want is not available in some other states. That's why we have to restrict our scope of the study or in this Selangor, okay, the state of Selangor. So this is the way how we develop, okay, the dimensions, the concept, dimension, elements, and measures. Then after we develop the concept, dimension, and measures, okay, the stage 3 is semi-structured interviews and weight assignments. Okay, for this purpose, there's a process of interviews. Okay, interview of the experts, which was made primarily due to the expertise, okay, in the area of Sharia, economics, finance, and also social finance. So for this study, we tried to interview 13 experts, okay, based on our objective of the study. And then the experts are from the Middle East, Malaysia, and some other countries, including Indonesia, who are well versed in the Islamic social finance. And then they are interviewed, and they are also requested to assign the weight, okay, to the components and to determine whether the performance measures are acceptable. During the interview, we asked them, is it this measure is enough to capture our dimension or not? Okay, and then the experts are asked to assign the weight to the 5 objective, various elements to respective Sharia objective. Besides assigning the weights, the questionnaire also tried to get some feedback from the experts. Okay, if there's any comments to try to improve, okay, our questionnaires. Okay, as long as it can capture the objective of our study. So that is stage 3. Now we are in the stage 4. Once we identify the measures, now we want to go for the ratio identifications. After the Maqasid Sharia index model was verified and validated by the identified experts, now as a researcher, we have to identify the ratios, okay, to capture those dimensions. Okay, so we've come up with the 13 ratios. Okay, for example, disbursement for the Islamic program activities over total zakat collection. Okay, basically we want to for the first ratio is basically to capture the dimension of protection of religion. How much zakat collection has been used for the protection of the religion, and so on. Okay, All this information, we got it from the annual report. Okay. If you look at the study, basically this framework was proposed by Mustafa Razak and typed in 2008. But their scope of study is about the performance of Islamic banking and finance, which is different between our study because we are focusing on the Islamic social finance, not the Islamic banking and finance. Okay. So once we're done with the stage 4, this is continuation for the stage 4. We try to validate the model and underlying variables. Now the second step is we verify, okay, our ratios, okay, even the measures by the experts. Okay, now we send, okay, to 12 experts in the area of Islamic social finance and Islamic economy to verify the instrument developed for the study. Almost all the experts have verified our instruments, okay, and then they start to assign the weights even to the instruments. So 12 questionnaires were received from the 12 experts who are assigned specific weights to the 5 Sharia objective and 13 elements. So after complete stage 5 is index development and empirical test. After we complete the process of identifying the variables and assigning the weights, an index which is called as a Maqasid al-Shariah index is developed using a simple mathematical equations, and then the index has fulfilled our final objective of the study, and the data is collected from the annual reports. Okay. So this is the research findings. Okay, we have the 5 Sharia objective. And then the main component is these are the Sharia objective, number of dimensions. Okay, we are for the or what they call the objective of Sharia number 1. We have 3 dimensions: life, 4, and then the intellect, lineage, and wealth. Each of them are 2 respectively. Number of elements also similar, and number of ratio also. Okay, so this is summarizing, okay, our development of the Maqasid index later on. Okay. And then these are some of the weightage ratio. Okay, now we move to further about the computation of the weighted ratios. Okay. Okay, this is the average weightage for the Sharia objective and its element assigned by the experts. Okay, from the 13 experts that we interviewed, okay, we asked them to assign the weights, okay, out of 1. Okay, so these are the weight that we received from the experts. Okay, for example, for the religion, it was 0.33. Okay, and so on. So it means that all the experts are emphasizing on the what they call the element and the area of religions. Okay, then after that, in order to capture the what they call the concept, okay, we have the elements. Okay, like for example, element 1 is Islamic programs, scholarship for the Islamic educations, and also the development of the religious institution. All this one is capturing the Sharia objective number 1. Okay, and then they have to give their weights as well out of 1. Okay, so these are the weights that we receive for the elements and also for the main objective, okay, from the experts. And now we try to develop the ratios. Okay, so these are some of the process in order for us to develop the index. Okay, so these are the Sharia objective. These are the weight of the Sharia objective. Okay, which we call as A, and weight of the elements B, ratios C. Okay, this ratio get it from the annual reports, and weighted ratios. Okay, these are the things. Okay. I just actually, sorry, it's very small. For the computation of the Sharia objective, okay, I just give the examples. For example, here, you can see here, we call it as a Sharia objective number 1. Okay, the value of the Sharia objective 1 is computed, okay, by taking the weight, the ratio multiplied by the ratio number 1, and plus with weighted ratio of Sharia objective number 1 multiplied by the elements, multiplied by the ratio number 2, and so on. Okay, after that, we are going to get the ratio for the Sharia objective number 1, and then this process is going to continue for the remaining 4 Sharia objective. Okay, so each time we have to calculate for each of the Sharia objective. So we are going to have 5 Sharia objective calculations. Okay, and then from the after we After we calculate this, what they call this index, this index, okay. Later on, we move further to calculate which is the last part, which is the Maqasid index. How do we get the Maqasid index? Is Sharia objective 1 plus Sharia objective 2 plus with Sharia objective 3 and until Sharia objective 5. Okay, and this is the comparison that we made since 2015 until 2019 for the Lembaga Zakat Selangor. Okay. So basically, in 2015, you can see the ratio, the index was 0.0548, and then it slightly decreased until 2017, and it started to increase. Okay, now I can show 2020 to 2021, the index might be increased due to during the COVID time. During the COVID time, they are spending more. Okay, but when they're spending, I can say that they emphasize much more about the Maqasid Sharia number 2. Okay, the life, because during the COVID time, many people, they are losing their jobs. Okay, they try to fulfill their basic needs and so on. Okay, so maybe the index for the computation of the what they call the Sharia objective number 2 might be higher. Okay, so I can ensure that if we extending the year, I think it might reach to 0.068 or even 0.07, something like that. Okay, so from here we try to conclude that the Maqasid Sharia index is improving in terms of the score, and reaffirm the importance of the Maqasid Sharia in zakat institutions. So a higher index indicates that zakat institutions contributes to the development of the religions, life, intellect, lineage, and wealth of the Muslims. And as a result, is promote the social economic justice in the society and comply with the ethical identity. And then we also try to come up with a recommendation whereby the Maqasid index can be implemented by the zakat institution at the national or local level. Even it can be applied for other countries as well. Okay, it is intended that all parties in the zakat can measure and improve their zakat performance, as well as increasing the public understanding on zakat contribution for the social economic development of the country. And then this Maqasid index, which has been developed, can be evaluated annually to compare its yearly performance as well. Okay, thus the Maqasid index can become the gauge to underlying changes that occur in the aspect of religion, life, intellect, lineage, and life over time. So since we are also asked to highlight the challenges that we are doing during our journey in completing this research. Okay, first I can say these are some of the challenges: data collection and availability, and also the availability of the experts. Okay, sometimes there's no response after many months, because their response is important for us to put the weightage. Okay, so that's why Alhamdulillah, somehow this research was extended almost for 2 years. Okay, by the IIIT. Okay, and also the conducive environment for writing the report. Okay, it's not easy to write the report during the COVID time. Okay, from my experience. Okay, because you cannot working from home is also part of challenging for us as well. Okay, so that's all from my presentation. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.